Welcome to Dev Hunt 2015, aka the exact thing that literally everyone was hoping Roblox wouldn't do. This year's Dev Hunt doesn't even deserve to be called an egg hunt. That is an insult to the egg hunt tradition as a whole. Not only does this entire concept go against the definition of the word hunt, but it doesn't even deserve to be an official Roblox event. They just slapped some eggs onto Ripple minigames, Twisted Murder, and Super Bomb Survival. Let's read some of the blog posts about this event. And finally, there's the special admin egg that we, the members of the Roblox team, will summon in-game as we play with you guys. Admin egg. This sounds a little bit familiar. It's Hallows Eve all over again! Why? Twisted Murder by Taymaster incorporates eggs into gameplay as well as the randomness that is a hallmark of the egg hunt. Some eggs are based on things like going around. Based on things like going around? Once again, this goes against the definition of the word hunt. We think you're going to love the egg hunt event. We think you're going to love the egg hunt event. Now, before we review the 3 games that are hosting this year's Dev Hunt, we're going to look at some of the common arguments used in defense of Dev Hunt, and I'll provide counter-arguments to go against them. Here we go. You should be thankful for what you get. Let me just be blunt and say it's downright stupid to expect us to be thankful for this. Let's put things into perspective, shall we? Roblox created this tradition in 2008 and let it flourish for many years. Suddenly, in 2015, they take that tradition, tear out its roots, defeat the purpose, and let the developers do it all instead. What a disappointment. This tradition had a place in a lot of people's hearts. It was something special to get excited for each year. How do you think we feel? They ruined the tradition. Our games team is small. And it'll take up too much time, and it would be easier for the community to make the games for the event. Slingshot Junkie. I don't even need to go into detail for this one. All this needs is a simple answer. If your games team is so small, then how come you guys managed to create masterpieces in the past? These obviously including Egg Hunt 2012 and 2013. It's like you guys just didn't even want to try this year. Having events made by our users is consistent with our platform. Roblox users generate the best content, Gordon Rocks 24. Just because you want to look like an impressive game development platform and have developers be the heart of Roblox doesn't mean you should take a beloved event and hand it over to the devs without a care in the world. This guy right here has a somewhat similar argument. Welcome to Roblox. You make the game. Have none of you even realized this? They're promoting people's games, along with putting the cream on top, adding a fun event to the game. Fun. You didn't voice your opinion early enough. I don't have an exact quote of this, but at one point Slingshot Junkie replied to a thread with something along the lines of this. We didn't have enough time to react. Maybe if you voiced your opinions on this idea early enough, we could have stopped it. This just isn't true. People have been dreading the idea of this ever since Devsplosion in Winter Games 2015. Remember when people didn't complain about events? Remember when people didn't complain about Roblox events and just enjoyed them? Those were the days. Smooth block model. Well, Mr. Block Model, looks like I need to repeat myself. It's downright stupid to expect us to be happy about this. I already went into detail about how we have a right to be mad about this, so we're gonna move on. Now that we've got all that out of the way, you know what makes it even more obvious they messed up? Taymaster himself agrees with us to a certain extent, despite the fact that he's one of the people involved with Dev Hunt. In all seriousness, I wish the Egg Hunt this year had its proper single place. It would have added the adventure. Speaking of Taymaster, let's get the worst part of this event out of the way, the Twisted Murder section of this event. This section of the event barely feels different from the original game. It's boring, time-consuming, and just isn't fun. This is the segment of the event that beats the definition of hunt down to the ground the most, because most of the eggs in here you get for completing certain tasks. It is not a hunt at all. You know what's even worse? The fact that you have to play a PewDiePie song on stereo to get one of the eggs. Overall, the Twisted Murderer segment of this event is not worth your time at all. Maybe get an egg or two there, but other than that, it's not worth it at all. Next up, Super Bomb Survival. Once again, this doesn't feel different from the original game. He reskinned the lobby and made it so eggs rain from the sky in the arena occasionally. That's about it. The segment is decent, but it didn't change much. The game itself is still great, but what he did for the event wasn't all that special. Overall, it's not terrible. It's decent and actually worth spending your time. Great when compared to the Twisted Murderer segment of this event. Lastly, we have the one that everyone was worshipping when it was being worked on because people thought it would save the egg hunt. Rippled minigames. People sure don't feel like that about it now, though. There's so many problems with this part, it's just disappointing. 1. The map is way too big. It's nothing more than a walking simulator. It feels like the witching hour all over again. 2. It's just boring. There isn't much to do. 3. It's a waste of time. Barely anything ever happens. 4. Eggs almost never spawn. You'll be lucky if you even manage to find what is supposed to be a common egg. 5. The map itself feels repetitive. There's very few unique areas in it. It's all just the typical terrain you see in the whole map. To my surprise, this segment of the egg hunt just wasn't good. Almost as bad as the Twisted Murderer segment, but not quite. This shockingly leaves Super Bomb Survival as the best segment. Here are the final rankings. Super Bomb Survival, best. Ripple Minigames, bad. Twisted Murderer, worst. Now, let's go over 10 of the problems with the eggs. There's none of these. You have to play a PewDiePie song on stereo to get this egg. Not to mention, this egg is just a bad attempt at remaking the Eggcognito egg from 2012. The admin egg. Everything about it is a problem. The Eggmageddon egg is literally just a red recolor of the
Egg of Frost from 2014.
Why does the mad egg have to be a thing? On the event page for this event, they're just taunting us about how there's no Fabergés by scattering images of Fabergés all over the place, despite that there aren't any. This egg is a broken mess and doesn't even move most of the time. Not to mention, it's ugly. The bird egg is also just downright ugly. Oh right, there's some gears too. We'll review those too. Tome of Eggs. Waste of money. All of the things that this tome keeps track of can easily be tracked for free by simply using Notepad or something like that. Egg Launcher 2015. Waste of money. All it does is let you launch eggs at people to put an egg splat on their screen. It's not necessary and definitely not worth the 150 Robux. Fake Egg Spawner. Waste of money. All it does is just spawn a few fake eggs around the map to trick people. Again, it's not necessary and definitely not worth 500 Robux. Overall, this whole event is just a disappointment. Who would be crazy enough to think it'd be a good idea to scatter eggs in random games that have absolutely nothing to do with the holiday? I'm really hoping Roblox will learn from this huge mistake and do better next year. The eggs are ugly, the event itself is underwhelming at best, and none of this has to do with Easter, aside from the eggs. Some of the eggs are a buggy mess, the gears are a waste of money, and the whole thing isn't worth your time. My final rating for this event is 1 out of 10. Honestly, after all the backlash they received from this event, I'm really hoping they learn their lesson and do it right next time.
Bring the madness.